You heard that right. The Crosslinks Transit Solutions, the consortium building the Eglinton Crosstown LRT, has a 30-year maintenance contract for the LRT. Just look at the Ottawa LRT fiasco. The Crosslinks Consortium that is made up of some of the same companies that form the Rideau Transit Group, which build Ottawa LRT and also has a 30-year maintenance contract. A public inquiry into 2 Ottawa LRT derailments found that the public-private partnership is dysfunctional and that poor maintenance and quality control by a subcontractor of the private consortium was to blame for the second derailment. We need the provincial government to put Toronto transit projects back in the hands of our city, in the hands of the TTC, to keep costs down and keep transit accountable to us. Transit costs are absolutely out of control. A big reason that Metrolinx and Doug Ford are handing over dollars is that Doug Ford is handing over dollars to his consultant buddies. A December 2024 study by U of T's School of Cities states that the drivers of transit costs in Canada finds that agencies that rely more on external consultants for design, planning, engineering, and management experience have higher soft costs than those relying on in-house staff for the same services. Developed nations like Italy, Turkey, Sweden, Finland, Spain, South Korea are delivering transit projects comparable to those in Canada at 1/10 of the price per kilometer. 1/10. Finch West LRT, though much simpler to construct, it costs significantly more per kilometer, international $249 million per kilometer, than the mostly underground, fully automated express metro line in South Korea, in Seoul, the Shinbundang line. $149 million per kilometer. Ridiculously cheaper for a full-on subway. What do we want? LRT projects that will make a difference for people in Toronto. While the Crosstown budget has ballooned, the other projects have been waiting and waiting. The Eglinton East LRT, mentioned by my colleague Brian earlier, would go from Kennedy Station to U of T Scarborough campus and up to Malvern. Anyone in Scarborough can tell you that this area has been left behind by transit. With the closure of the Scarborough RT in 2023, buses have been the only option for Scarborough residents who rely on transit past Kennedy Station. Shame. The province is extending the Scarborough subway, but here's the thing. Scarborough does not end at McCowan and Shepherd. We need to make sure that projects like the ELRT are prioritized as near future capital investments. Even the most ideal service projections in the TTC's 5-year service plan are not expected to succeed in bringing ridership up to pre-pandemic levels by 2028. Not guaranteeing funding for the Eglinton East LRT using tools like the Canada Public Transit Fund could mean underserving an area that will see an increased population growth in the coming years, losing out on contributing to ridership. The ELRT's environmental project report estimates that the ELRT will bring an estimated 81,000 people within walking distance by 2041. This is a massive amount of Scarborough commuters missing out on access to higher order public transit. Transit delayed is transit denied.
Philip. He's Philip with the facts. All right, well, we were going to have a speaker, Butterfly Gopal, from the Jane Finch Action Against Poverty group, but you guessed it. The TTC has delayed her from joining us today. Shame. So I'll give the Cliff's notes of what she was going to tell you, and then you'll hear from me. But Butterfly was going to talk about how the Jane Finch community really has had to fight Metrolinx tooth and nail to commit to building the community hub that was part of the agreement to building the Finch West LRT, and it is also still not open. So, shame. And for those of you that live in that area, check out the Jane Finch Action Against Poverty group, because they're doing some incredible work. Okay. Well, as I said, you're going to hear from me now. So we do want to see transit expansion, but not at the expense of taking care of the transit we already have, like fixing slow zones on the subway. In a few minutes, we'll be crossing the street to cut a ribbon to symbolize opening the Crosstown, but also to cut a ribbon for operations funding. And soon, we're going to get some candidates up on stage who are going to commit to providing operations funding for the TTC. Woo! Yeah. But first, I want to tell you about why this is so important, why why we're doing this. So we live in a city where we're lucky that this year we've had the mayor commit to freezing fares, in no small part because of the organizing done by a lot of the people here, because that wasn't an easy or clear win to get that commitment to freeze fares. So, you know, let's hear it for the organizing we've done. And we see that other regions outside of Toronto, our nearest neighbors, are not in that lucky situation. Fares in Mississauga have risen, fares in York region have risen. And in Toronto, we've been successful so far at protecting paratransit door-to-door service. But again, these other regions have not been so lucky. And we see the impact in York region and Durham region, where riders have been kicked off door-to-door Wheel-Trans. This is shameful. And all of this is happening because local transit agencies lack stable funding. In Ontario, we used to have a transit funding formula known as the Bill Davis formula. Bear with me, it's windy. The province chipped in for 50% of the TTC's operating subsidy and 80% of the TTC's capital needs, which is a very specific way of saying that the province chipped in its fair share. But in 1998, the Mike Harris government, ended its operating support for the TTC, and you guessed it, fares shot up and service was absolutely eroded. And that doesn't save the taxpayer money. The taxpayers are us. We pay for the TTC at the fare box now, and that's simply not right. Today, only 12.7% of the TTC's 10-year capital plan comes from the province, which, I mean, that number, even without any of the context about the TTC, everyone here should find that number shocking. What is the other 90% or so coming from? There's also been the case of the gas tax. This is more lost money from the province. After the Conservative government canceled provincial operating funding in 1998, the Liberal government introduced the gas tax transfer in 2004. Cities can use the gas tax to fund their capital budgets and their operating budgets. And I know we're talking a lot of bureaucratic stuff right now, but it's really important. And then the Liberal government pledged to double the amount going to transit in 2018. And this is where our friend Dougie comes along. Yes, let's get a shame going while I flip my pitch. Okay. Thank you. Now, Doug Ford promised to do the same, but you guessed it. After the 2018 election, he reneged on this pre-election promise to double the gas transfer, and this has cost the TTC $1.1 billion. So, there is reason for hope. The New Deal agreement signed between Toronto and Ontario in 2023 provided a commitment of $630 million from the province. But this will only last until 2027, so we've got our work cut out for us. And that's why we're so thrilled to have candidates from many parties here today who are willing to step up, make a public commitment to us to commit to stable operations funding for the TTC and running LRTs when they open by establishing a new transit funding model in Ontario. All right, so we're looking for these commitments to renew provincial support for 50% of transit agency operating subsidies. So we've talked about a lot of logistics and how we fund, but you should all take away that the province needs to step up and pay its fair share. And the candidates here, we're asking them to commit to us that they're going to do that. And we know that we're going to have to keep the pressure no matter what as well. And no matter who gets elected, the organizing doesn't stop after the election.
That's right.
All right, so let's do one more chant. Let's do one more get it done. Get it done! Waving just here. She's waving and jumping. And if you care to make a small donation to TTC riders, there is someone going around with a little tap reader. It does cost money to go to the oversized scissors and ribbon store and get our incredible props. So please do chip in. So we told the parties that if they will commit to these demands, they should come today and sign on the dotted line. We are incredibly lucky to have some candidates here with us today to do just that. candidates who are committed to public transit. So we're going to have them come up and each sign the check for operating funding. Woo! Okay, I'm going to call them. Chloe Tangpon-Prush, who is the Green Party candidate in Toronto St. Paul's. Woo! Yeah! Thank you, Chloe.
Cut it! Cut it!
Are we cutting it? Jill. Woo!
Thank you.
All right, thank you. Okay, so who is, all right, got some fans, hello. Stephanie is the Liberal candidate in Toronto St. Paul's.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, all right, let's do a quick, what do we want? LRT, when do we want it now? Keeping energy high, what do we want? Vince is the Liberal candidate for Eglinton Lawrence, so this very important neighborhood, hello.
You're in my riding, so welcome everyone. Great to see you. We're all on the same team on this. Absolutely.
And that's what we like to hear.
You're gonna heart too.
No, thanks. Okay, Chris Robinson, the Green Party candidate for Don Valley West. Maybe not here, but if you're in Don Valley West, he did commit to sign, so thumbs up. Okay, next, Linnea Lofstrom Abery, who is the NDP candidate in Don Valley West, and she's coming on up. Thank you so much. All right, and we've also got Jean McGuire, who is the Communist Party candidate in Humber River Black Creek, so Finch West territory. Thank you very much, Jean. All right, okay, so those are the candidates we have. We missed.
Here, should we come over to him?
Thank you very much. Any other candidates? Any other candidates on the ballot? All right. Okay. What do we want? LRT. To all the candidates for coming and standing with us and committing to provide stable operations funding, clearing the TTC's repair backlog, giving the TTC back control over running Toronto Transit, and investing in Toronto's transit priorities. We all know why this is essential and important, and we're all very happy to see these commitments across a great variety of parties. Woo! All right, well now, if you're able and interested, we're gonna walk over to the other side of the block, to the still unused Eglinton LRT station, and do our ribbon cutting. We know politicians love a ribbon cutting, so we're gonna show them how it's done in case they need a reminder. But that is really the rally, so thank you very much for coming, and thank you to all the candidates again, and let's end with a get it done, everybody. Okay, get it done.
I don't blame you. Oh, absolutely. Yeah. No, I completely agree. I feel like it's always